Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live session. Today's topic is going to be about important words to speak to flow money into your life. Important words to speak to flow money into your life. Uh, you have to be very, very careful and mindful of what you think, what you say, because the universe is always listening, and always meeting you where you're at. So you have to be extremely careful about what you think, what you say, and that will shift all kinds of energies in this universe. And the universe always meets you where you're at. So today's topic is about the important words to speak, to think in order to flow money into your life. Hi, Heidi. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me. So, this is something that I practice every day, all day. I practice, the thoughts, the words, what I say to myself, what I say to the universe. I practice it every day, all day, in order to really speak to in the silence of what the universe is showing you and guiding you, and that communication that you have with the universe is so vital to manifesting. And especially for those of you who are trying to manifest more financial abundance, you have to be very, very careful about what words you think, what words you speak, and what energy it carries behind those words. So that's the topic that we're going to talk about today is what are the words to speak, think, and really embrace in your body, in your heart, to be able to manifest more financial abundance. So let's first clear the energy of the room, and then we'll get started with the words. And I'll give you a list of the words, and I'll give you why these words are very important. So let's first clear the energy of the room. Just stay present, relax, breathe naturally, be in the presence of the power of now. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space. Thank you for allowing us to be able to speak on these beautiful topic of what words are important to bring about more financial abundance into our lives. So thank you so much for these beautiful messages, wisdoms, and knowledge, and the connection that we have with these universal forces that meet us where we're at, that we can shift our energy anytime to be able to meet more financial abundance. So thank you so much for allowing this session to go off without a hitch, to go off with flow, calm, peace, and serenity. And so it is. Okay. I like that. I like that, Heidi. Energy flows where attention goes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is the foundation for any manifestation, whether it's money, career, business, relationships, anything. Okay, so I'm gonna go one one word, each word. I'm gonna list each word, and I'm gonna explain why each word has power behind it. And so if you have any questions about the word and how to use it, let me know on this topic. So all of these words should be used in order to flow more financial abundance into your life. And so the first word, which I just used, is flow. Why is flow? I think it's one of the most powerful words that there ever is. It's the most powerful word that there ever is, and not just for financial abundance, but for anything, whether it's health, relationships, because it's all about energetic flow. If there is no flow, you have a block. And when there's block, you can't receive. The money doesn't flow. Money is energy. Like everything else in the universe, money is just another form of energy. So you have to create the conditions of flow for that money to flow to you, right? So that to me is one of the most powerful words that there ever is. Flow, 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 flow. And you cannot, I swear to God, I say it all the time because everything is energy. And without flow, that energy is not moving, it's not flowing. And therefore, that money is not flowing to you. That's why flow is such a powerful word. I think if there's one word that I'm going to use, if I had to choose, and there are many powerful words, flow. Flow is it, numero uno, in my opinion. And so, how can we put flow into sentences about money and financial abundance? Say, money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. That's a beautiful way to use flow. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Or you could just say, money flows to me. Money flows to me. You could say, money flows to me more and more each day. Money flows to me more and more each day. Money flows to me more and more each day. I am in flow with money. Money is in flow with me. So use the word flow in many different ways. And when you say it with intention, say it with a peace and serenity behind it, a state of knowing, a state that you are connected to these universal forces, that you are part and parcel of this universe, and you are aligned with that flow of money. You want to say it with an intention, with not just like if you're depressed and you're like, oh, money flows to me. Like there's no power in that because the intention behind it or the energy behind it is not one of abundance. It's still very like, it's just, you're just regurgitating words. So, what the universe is listening to how you feel. What feeling are you emanating? What feeling? So, you could say, so you want to put feeling behind that. So, you could say something like, money flows to me easily and effortlessly, feeling expansive and free. So you could add feeling behind it because when you add that feeling, the feeling is what vibrates out into the universe. It's what vibrates out into the universe. And that means, and then every cell in your body can feel it. That is when you have real power in the words, is when the words are spoken and they're felt in alignment with that feeling. That is when you truly have power. Okay, so flow, number one, allow. Number two, allow. This is a beautiful, beautiful word because allow is similar but yet different from flow. Allow is a really powerful word because often we do not allow abundance to come into our lives. We do not allow it. We're closed off. And the reason why we may be closed off is because we don't think we're good enough. We don't think we're worthy enough. We don't believe we're smart enough. So we don't allow the abundance that the universe wants to give you abundance, wants to, shower you with abundance, but we don't allow it to come in. And so not allowing is a huge block of that energetic flow. You're not letting the money energetic flow to you because you're not allowing it to come. It's like you've closed your doors. You've put up a dam. So if think about it, if the universe is trying to give you all this money, this abundance and come to your way, you've put up a dam or you've shut your door, how is it going to break through? Right? So allow becomes a very, very powerful word to let those cooperative, that money, financial prosperity, that money to flow into you. Because even though it's flowing, you're not allowing it, that's a problem. You've just created a block and you're not allowing it. So you have to be the recipient of that money abundance. You have to allow it to come in. So allow is to me, it feels like the second most powerful word for attracting money into our lives. Allow. I allow money, prosperity to come into flow into my life. I for allow for financial abundance because I am worthy. I allow financial abundance because I'm deserving as a perfect image of God. I allow the financial abundance because I am going to make a big impact in the world with this money. Allow. I allow all of the abundance that the universe has for me into my energetic space. I allow because I am worthy. I allow because I am unconditionally lovable. I allow because I am good enough. So you want to allow that abundance to come in. So that is important word number two is allow. I said flow one, allow number two. Okay. Hi, Kenneth. How are you? Hi, Jeremiah. How are you? Okay. So another word, magnet. Magnet is a beautiful word. Magnet and attraction. Those two words are similar. Magnet and attraction. Magnet and attraction. Those words are beautiful because what you want to become is you want to become the energetic signal to financial abundance. So if financial abundance is here, you want to match that signal, right? Rather than taking so many steps to chase after money. And I think that's what a lot of people do is they chase by trying to take a million actions. And often those actions yield no results or very little results. So chasing is not the most powerful state of being because you're chasing, you want to align yourself and you want to attract. You want to become a magnet. That doesn't mean you're not going to take action. It means you're going to take far less action, and whatever action you take, it's going to be meaningful. So you want to become like this magnet and you want to attract abundance. And the way you attract it is because your internal world already feels rich. When your internal world feels rich, regardless of what money you have in the bank account, if your internal world, you're vibrating that rich frequency. That's why you're vibrating that rich frequency. So when you feel rich, you're vibrating that frequency. And because the universe meets you where you're at, you're attracting. You're becoming a magnet to financial abundance and prosperity. Because when you feel rich already on the inside, even if you have $1 in the bank account, but you feel rich, the universe doesn't read your bank account. It's reading what signal you're broadcasting. And you're signaling that you're broadcasting that signal of abundance, you're going to become a magnet because the universe gives you where you're at. It meets you where you're at. So think about that. That's why things show up. All of a sudden, when you start to feel more and more rich internally, all of a sudden things start to show up like, oh, maybe there was a check, that came from the IRS, or maybe like you found $1,000 in, a bag that you had on the shelf, or, money starts to just appear in really odd, unimaginable ways because you're connecting. So you're becoming a magnet and things are coming your way as opposed to chasing. So magnet and attraction. So how can we use these words? How can we use these words in sentences? I am a magnet for financial abundance. I am a magnet for prosperity. I am a magnet for all the cooperative components to meet a financial abundance. I am a magnet for prosperity and wealth. I am a magnet for uh, money flowing into me. Magnet. You could replace magnet for attract. I attract financial prosperity with flow and ease. I attract money every day more and more. I attract abundance in my life. I attract. So attract and magnet for me feels very interchangeable. Attract and magnet feels very interchangeable. And I think you could use it. And, sometimes I say magnet, sometimes I attract. Sometimes I say magnet, sometimes I say attract. Another word that I think is really, really important, and let me see if there's any, well, let me just take a break here and see if there's any questions that anybody has. Okay, hi Ella, how are you? How to deal with disappointment of not receiving money when you need it or on the date you were supposed to receive it? Okay, that's a really, really good question, Ella. I get it because let's say you were supposed to get money come in, right? Uh, like, let's say somebody said that they're gonna wire you the money, right? And you need it for a good reason, right? You need it to pay maybe a medical bill, or you needed the money to pay rent, or you needed the money to pay, um, food, something important. We're not talking about something light here. We're talking about something important to pay for something important, right? And you're expecting that money to come in, and that money hasn't come in. It's showing that there's some resistance in you, that there's something within you energetically that has blocked it energetically. And so it's okay because we all go through those times when and the reason why there's some blockage in that money coming in is because you're anxious about that money coming in, right? You're anxious and stressed because if you're expecting money for rent and you got to make that rent on the first of the month, there's stress and anxiousness behind that, right? And that's what's creating that blockage is that stress and anxiousness. It's that stress behind it because you're counting on that money and you're stressed about paying your rent. You're stressed about paying your medical bills, right? Because these are important things. These are not just light things. So I understand why you would be stressed. I totally get it. There's a stress energy behind that. And that stress energy is what creates that blockage. It puts like you're putting like a dam up. And that money is ready to come in, and it's like, boom, it stops right there and it doesn't come in. And so, what it is this is that this is where trust and faith comes in. Trust and faith becomes so important because you're trusting in the process. Does it mean that you're not taking action, that you're just going to sit there and wait for money to come in? No, of course you're not going to do that. You're going to take steps. You might have plan B or plan C for the money, right? It's always okay to have plan A and plan B. Then maybe plan A is not going to pay. But the thing is this is that once you've planned it, you're trusting and you got to put that trusting energy that it's going to come in. You're not exactly sure, if this is the case, but you know that if it's not this case, it's something else. There's trust in that process and faith. And so when you trust, you're letting go of that stress and that anxiety. The stress and anxiety is what's really creating that blockage because stress and anxiety does not allow flow, right? Think about it, when you're in stress, anxiety, fear, you're not in the flow state. You're in the state of blockage. And so even though the money's coming in and it could be coming in from a different direction, there's a dam that has been put up, a wall that has been put up. And so this is and I get it. I totally get you, Ella, because you know, you're saying, Moon, I got to pay my rent the first, and I'm anxious for this money to come in. How do you ask me to not be anxious, stressed because I got to pay my rent, otherwise I'm going to get kicked out of this apartment, right? The thing is this is that how can you build trust more and more? So this is what I would say in a situation like that. This is what I say to myself because I have been disappointed where I expected something and it didn't come. I expected something and it didn't come. And so I say to myself, okay, I expected this money to come in, but it's okay. I know that there might have been, things are always working out for me. I don't know how exactly this is going to work out for me, but it's working out for my highest and best good. I stay and maintain trust and faith in the universal forces and in you, God, that you will show me and give me the signs and allow me to have more trust and faith in this process and know that everything happens for a reason and all things happen in divine timing, that there will be new doors that are open and opportunities that will open for me to flow this money into my experience, for me to be an attract a magnet to this money and flow this money into my experience. I know that this is not the only path, that there are many doors that could be open to flow the money in this way. And I stay vigilant and I listen and I pay attention to the guidance of what steps I need to take, that I should take to be able to flow this money into my experience. I know that things all happen in divine timing, and this would be a blessing in disguise, that there are many doors to flow this money into my experience. And I have faith in that, and I will be guided to help open those doors and help me open those doors. And I have trust and faith in your infinite wisdom, infinite ways to make it happen. So, A, I put more trust and faith in the process. That's A. B, I say that there are many other opportunities because when one door closes, another door opens. So I open the scope of opportunities, scope of the doors, because money can come in all different directions. It doesn't have to just come in from one way, right? So I open myself to be able to have open different doors. Trust and faith, number one. Keep to the option that there are many different angles that this could happen. And also in divine timing, that it will happen, but that a divine, and I would say I let go of fear, stress, anxiety over this situation. I let it go because it does not serve my highest and best good. And I know that that all things are possible for me and the universe supports me and you have my back and that I am worthy and I'm good enough to flow this money into my experience. Okay, Ella, I totally understand where you're coming from. And that's how I deal. I retrain myself. I train myself to be more more connected with the universal forces, because the more connected I am, the less stress I have, right? Because I know all things happen, all great things happen with the infinite wisdom of God, and I know that. So the more I could tap into that infinite wisdom and feel connected spiritually to the divine, the less stress I'm going to have. The less I says, I don't know how it's going to happen. It's not my job. It's not your job to make it happen. It's your job to allow it to happen. It's your job to allow it to happen. But say that you are worthy, that you are good enough, that you are unconditionally loved to be able to receive this. Because a lot of times we don't feel we're good enough to be able to receive that abundance or allow that abundance into our experience. And that's one of the biggest things, is that there's something deep inside of us say, am I good enough? Am I really good enough to be this or to have this? Or you have to say, yes, I am. I am good enough. I am worthy. Worthiness and good enough are two of the biggest ways that people block themselves. Not feeling good enough or worthy is two ways, two big ways that we all block ourselves from receiving this financial abundance. Two big ways. You're welcome, Ella. And let's all send Ella beautiful abundance energy. Dear God, angel, spirit guys, please, we ask you to give at this time Ella Watson beautiful abundance of energy and allow her to trust and have more deep faith in the process, and that so many more doors of opportunities where she could receive that money with flow and ease will be open for her. So thank you so much, because Ella Watson is a beautiful soul. She is more than worthy. She is more than good enough. She is unconditionally loved to receive this financial abundance and prosperity. So thank you so much for allowing her to receive and allow and attract and be the magnet for these beautiful, beautiful abundance that you have for her. So we thank you so much. So it is. Okay. Okay, let's go. Hi, Britannica Bro 88. How are you? Hi, Kenneth. Thank you for asking me if everything's fine with me. Yeah, this week has been crazy because this week is AI Tech Week. And so I've been to a bunch of events, and I'm actually going to be at another one tonight because, I have a AI health tech company around Chinese medicine. And so I've been exerting a lot of energy. So I've been using my dragon energy to protect me from low frequency energies. And so I do a lot of intention before I go to the events. So thank you. Okay. What is another word that is really powerful to flow money into you? Align. Align is another very powerful word. Why? Because when you align with yourself, your inner world to the frequency of financial abundance, align, align, that is when it comes in. That is when you allow it to come in, right? You have to align with it. Align. So if $1 million is here and you're down here and you want to be here, you have to do this. You have to align. So align becomes such a beautiful, powerful word. So you say, I align with the frequency. So let's say you want $1 million in your bank account. I align with the frequency of $1 million, and I am deserving of it because I'm good enough. I align with the frequency and signal of $1 million because I am unconditionally worthy. I align with the frequency of financial prosperity because I am worthy by the virtue of my existence. I align with all of the beautiful cooperative components for that financial abundance because I am unconditionally loved. I align with $10 million because I am the I am worthy by the virtue of my existence. I align. I align with the frequency of financial prosperity. Align. You want to align yourself. So that's another powerful word to use. Align. I love that word. Another word that is so powerful is ready. Ready. Why is this word so powerful? Ready, 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 ready. This word is so powerful because you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be ready to attract it. You have to be ready to have it flow into your life, right? I always say that you could, when I see things, people, we shoot ourselves in the foot because even though there's something so great in front of us, we don't allow it in because we're not ready. We're not ready to receive it because maybe we're not at that vibrational frequency of financial abundance, which means that we're not ready. You have to be ready to meet that frequency of financial prosperity, right? If you're not ready, even though it wants to come, you're going to create that block again, that dam, that wall. You're going to put it up. So you have to be ready. And how do you get yourself ready? You're ready because you know that you're unconditionally worthy. You know that you're good enough. You know that you're unconditionally loved. And that internal world is ready to receive it. I am ready to receive the financial prosperity. I am ready to receive infinite abundance. I am ready to receive a $1 million in my bank account. I am ready to receive all of the cooperative components for that financial abundance. I am ready. I am ready because I am unconditionally worthy. I am ready because I am good enough. I am ready because I am unconditionally loved. I am ready. So you have to be ready to receive it. So that's another powerful word to use. Ready. I am ready for this wealth now. I am ready for wealth now. I am ready for wealth now. Okay, so Did I use the word allow? Did I mention the word allow? Because allow is another powerful word. Allow is another powerful word because you have to. I don't think I talked about allow. So let's talk about this now. Allow. Why is that so powerful? Because you're letting it into your energetic space. You're giving permission. I allow financial abundance to come into my experience. I allow money abundance. I allow $1 million into my experience. I allow. You have to give the universe permission, right? You have to give it permission. So you're saying that I'm giving you permission for it to come in. Permission. Allow. Because oftentimes we're not allowing it to come in. That's why it doesn't come in. Because we have energetic blocks. Because we might be too stressed, we might have too much fear, we might feel like we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough. Allow. I give the universe permission for this financial abundance. I allow it to come in. I allow it to be here. That's why allow is such a powerful word. Use allow. I allow all of the universal forces to work in my favor. I allow the universal forces to support me in my abundance. I allow the I allow wealth now. I allow all of the beautiful people and situations that guide me to financial abundance. I allow wealth and prosperity and health and money and relationships now because I am worthy. I am good enough. I allow it. So this is why allow becomes so powerful. Allow is another word, another word. And so the other words that you want to really use, and I've been using this throughout this session, is I am worthy. I am good enough. I am unconditionally loved. I am unconditionally worthy. Why are those things so important? Because if you don't feel like you're worthy or you're good enough, the universe is not going to give it to you. You're not going to be able to receive. The universe is giving it to you, but you're not going to be able to receive it. So you have to believe and feel that you're good enough. Feel that you're unconditionally worthy. Feel that you're unconditionally loved. That's the basis for being able to receive it. So those words are very powerful. I am more than good enough. I am unconditionally worthy. I am unconditionally loved. Use those words. Unconditionally loved, unconditionally worthy. Those are very, very powerful words because you have to allow that abundance to come in. You have to be ready for that abundance to come in. You have to become a magnet for that abundance to come in. You have to be able to attract that abundance. So the foundation for attraction is that you are worthy of it. The foundation for the abundance is that you're worthy of that abundance. You're worthy of that attraction. You're worthy of that prosperity. Okay. Another word, two other words that I love are easily and effortlessly. Easily and effortlessly. Because those words are so powerful because it doesn't carry resistant energy, right? When you say easily and effortlessly, it's tapping into the energy of flow, right? It's removing resistance. It's removing blocks in that energy. You're easily and effortlessly flowing it into your experience and you're allowing it to come in easily and effortlessly. It's the opposite of resistance. And this is why I love those words easily and effortlessly, because you're letting go of resistance. Anytime you let go of resistance, you're becoming a magnet. You're allowing, you're ready for abundance to come into your experience. And this is why I love those words easily and effortlessly. because you want to tap into the flow of energy and you want to allow it to come in. Okay, so does anybody have any other questions about this situation? Botanical Bro 88, I says, I apologize for digressing from the subject, but if anyone is into crypto finance, oh, okay, thank you for letting us know that because that it is about money, right? Okay, so Botanical Bros, I align with the polarity of positive financial abundance because I am ready for it. Okay, I love that statement. I would be very cautious about polarity. What does polarity mean for you? Maybe it means for you something financial, but for me, polarity feels like it dual. Is it dual? But if it feels like if that word feels abundant to you, then use it. For me, it's not as it doesn't it feels a little resistant. So if that word feels very abundant, then use polarity. But for me, it feels a little bit resistant. So, but if for you it feels beautiful, abundant, flow, ease, magnet, attraction, then use the word because at the end of the day, it's what the words make you feel, how it makes you feel, because the feeling is what's being signaled out to the universe. The feeling, the feeling. So whatever words, so some of these are some of the words that I use consistently that makes me feel prosperous, feel abundant, feel that there's no limitation. Unlimited. Unlimited is another great word. Why? Why is unlimited? Unlimited is a great word because we're talking about an infinite possibility universe. Energy can flow in any direction at any time. It's infinite. It's unlimited. Those are two other words that I love, infinite and unlimited, because now you're tapping into the powerful forces of the universe that can bring you anything, right? So unlimited, infinite. I love those two words, unlimited, infinite, because those words tap into the infinite possibilities of what the universe has for you. And so it doesn't box us in. It doesn't put us in a limiting belief situation. And any time that we box ourselves in with limiting beliefs, we're not tapping into the infinite. We're not tapping into the unlimited. And we need to tap into that energy of infinite, unlimited, that anything is possible for you. And so and we're letting go of that resistance. We're letting go of being boxed in. We're letting go of being limited. And that's why those words are very, very powerful. Unlimited and infinite. I love those words so much. Okay. Um, Jeremiah says, I love saying quickly and easily for manifesting abundance because God, or wherever you call the source of energy, loves teaching us lessons that are disrespectful. Okay. Uh, I would love for you to clarify what you mean by lessons that are disrespectful. That would be interesting. I'd love to have you clarify that, Jeremiah. We would greatly interested. Are you saying that love teaches us lessons that, oh, I see what you're saying, that if somebody's being disrespectful, love teaches us to be respectful. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Thank you so much. Okay, Botanica Broad 888 a frequency of positive financial abundance. Yes, I love that. Frequency of positive financial abundance. That's great. I love it. So you basically want to choose words that are supportive of prosperity and abundance, not words that are unsupportive. Any words that support prosperity, abundance, infinite, unlimited. What words support that? So all the words that I mentioned flow, I mentioned easily, I mentioned effortlessly, allow, magnet, attract, align, unlimited, infinite. Those words all support abundance and prosperity, right? What are the words that you could get to support it, not the other way? So be very, very mindful of what words that you think, what words that you say, and put a feeling behind that. So if you say something like, money flows to me easily and effortlessly, making me feel expansive and free and unlimited. Put a feeling behind those words. Put a feeling because you need the feeling. The feeling is what's going to broadcast, is going to signal out to the universe. The feeling. You could say, I allow financial prosperity. I allow wealth now, making me feel making me feel unlimited, making me feel free, making me feel expansive, making me feel eternal growth. Feeling, put a feeling behind those statements. That makes it even more powerful. Feeling. And make sure that you're saying everything in present tense, not past or future. Don't say, I will be financially abundant. Don't say that. Say, I am financially abundant. I am. Why? Because you're signaling to the universe that you already have it, that you already feel. Because if you already feel it, then the universe must show it, right? Your external experience must reflect that. That's why you must say it in the present tense. That's really, really important to say it in the present tense. Always say it in the present tense. Okay, hi, original solar musician. I am wealthy. I allow financial abundance to flow. My frequency aligns with supportive magnetism. I feel free and unlimited like air on earth. I love that. That's wonderful. Oh, Jeremiah says, in terms of disrespectful, some lessons we have to learn may take more time or energy than what we want to use. For example, we may ask for abundance, but in the process, we lose our current job. I understand. So, losing that current job may be the precursor to getting something far better. So the universe always says one door closes, a better one opens. And you don't know why. You don't know how, because we're in the picture and God is looking outside the picture. So God has the bigger picture. We're in the picture. So a lot of times when things don't work out, for me, I always say, oh, it's a blessing in disguise. I let it go. I don't like I always say it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't the God has something a bigger, better door for me open. So when you lose that job, say, you know what? I understand that you have a better door opening for me, that I'm making energetic space by letting this go so that something bigger and better will open and come into my experience. I always say that. And let me tell you, it works. Every time I have let go of something because it didn't work out, I always say to myself, you're removing this and I'm making energetic space so something better comes in. And sure enough, something always better comes in. Always. It's always coming in. It's better, better, better. So what the universe is saying is make energetic space. You lose this job for the energetic space so something better could come in. You know what I'm saying? So yes, because that job had limited financial freedom, so we need to create our own. That's right. That's right, Jeremiah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so once you look at it from that perspective, think about how doors are opening up for you. You're like, now I'm going to become a business owner. But if you had that job, you wouldn't have the energy to become a business owner, right? So you see why that works? So when we say with ease, it just allows God to allow the blessings to flow. I agree with you 3000% Moon. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that we're able to align and see that this was the best thing that happened to you, that it was a blessing in disguise, that the job is no longer in your experience because bigger doors are opening up for you. And the universe saying you're worthy to do something bigger. You're worthy to do something better. You're worthy to have more financial abundance by having your own business, right? You're worthy of that. You're worthy. And it's unlimited possibility, infinite, unlimited opportunities for you. So that's the energy that we want to tap into. We want to keep tapping into that infinite, unlimited possibility energy. Ella Watson says, I'm learning to let go. It's not easy, but I will get used to it. Absolutely. It's not easy. No, it's not easy. Let's say you've had a job for 10 years, right? And now you got to let that go. Is that easy? No. Or 20 years. Or you had a marriage for 20 years. Is it easy to just let that go? No, absolutely not. And so the more we keep training our internal world to have faith, trust, and tap into that infinite abundance, infinite possibility, that's when we can manage those transitions and letting go better and better. We're able to do it better and better. I'm able to let go now much better than I've ever done before. Like, even 10 years ago, it would have been much harder to let go of something, even 10 years ago. So I've improved that much. Am I 1,000% there? No. But I'm so much better now than I have ever been before. Because I always say, the more I let go, the more I receive. The more I let go, the more I receive. That's a great mantra for you, Ella. The more I let go, the more I receive. The more I let go, the more I receive. Because you're really making that energetic space for something better. The more I let go, the more I receive. Because I'm closing this chapter, this door chapter of my life to open a new, better, more abundant one. That's how you say it. Okay, Botanical Brody. Eventually, humanity will evolve past the illusion of need for money, but for now, it has its purpose in the present matrix. Totally get it. Totally get it, Botanical Brody. I get what you're saying. Everything is, this whole thing that we're living is a matrix. It's a hologram, right? It's a hologram. We're living in a hologram. We're living in a matrix. Of course, there's no question about that. This matrix that we live is a reflection of our collective consciousness. That's what it is. That's all it is. So this thing that we call time, space, reality is just a hologram. It's just a matrix. That's all what it really is. You know that movie, The Matrix? It's a beautiful movie. We're really all living in a matrix, for sure. That's why my spirituality has always been the most important thing, above everything, above everything, because that is what is true. That is what is real. That is what is everlasting. My connection to divine is everything. That is what is true. That is what is everlasting. That is what is profound. Jeremiah says, yes, I am having a mystic pop-up shop for Halloween in LA, just talking to people about changing the mindset and sharing space with community and encourage each other to manifest abundance. Thank you, Jeremiah, for wishing other people prosperity and abundance. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate your spreading that energy to others. I really appreciate that. I think it's important that we influence others in these ways, and we're all influencing each other. You influence me. I hope that I influence you. So we're all influencing each other, and you're influencing them to see things with a beautiful lens, with abundance and prosperity, right? With the supportive lens of infinite possibility, infinite abundance. Yes, that's right, Heidi. The more I let go, the more I receive. Yes, the main actor in the Matrix movie, Keanu Reeves, has stated that the Matrix movie was a documentary. Yeah, I agree. It was so genius. And at the time when I saw it, I didn't re understand. Like, I loved the movie at the time, but now I understand how it reflects to the nature of reality, that the reality is that we're living in a matrix, really. This is a hologram that we're living in. And so when you connect with your inner world, you're connecting with the truth. You're connecting with the divine source. You're connecting with all that is in the universe. And that matrix that we call matrix, this hologram, is just a reflection of that inner world. That's what it is. And so as we shift that inner world, we shift our outer world. And that is the truth, because this outer world is a hologram, it's a matrix for sure. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so if nobody else has any questions about this, so remember the words that I discussed here: flow, easily, effortlessly, allow, magnet, attract, align, unlimited, infinite. These are powerful words that you use in sentences to tap into abundance, to tap into prosperity. And you will see, as you keep using it, and use them with intention, use them with feeling behind it, feeling that when I allow wealth now, feeling free, expansive, right? Bring in that the element of the feeling behind it. because the feeling is what signals to the universe. So thank you so much. I love this session. I think these words are so powerful, so important. And let's close out the energy of this room. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, send masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to this topic of these important words that allow us to tap into the infinite abundance and prosperity that we all deserve, that every one of these beautiful souls deserve as their birthright, as their right of eternal souls to have financial prosperity and abundance in their lives. And that these words are so powerful that we could tap into them every day with emotion, that we are infinite, that we are abundant, that we have infinite possibilities in our lives. And so I thank you for continuing to guide all of us and these beautiful souls in this room, in this sacred space, to allow us to tap in to how infinite we are, how powerful we really are, and how we can manifest and create financial prosperity in our matrix. So thank you so much for your continued support, your continued guidance, your continued wisdom, and your continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional